You have a lot of people that have degrees from school, but their lives are not changed. Money is a medium that's used to gauge success. So I'm trying to say the fact that someone has a lot of degrees from universities, different universities, doesn't mean they are financially successful. So you can have people that are schooled that are less moneyed. And you can have people that have taken unconventional education. Unconventional education means it's not traditional education of going to school. There are people who actually have learned in other ways. In a job, you must not just ask how much are you making, but you must.
Bamba, baby, please.
We are live though. I don't know why this guy is singing.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of In the Making. So, guys, we got for you something nice today. We're cooking, as always. But you know that before I introduce my guest, I need to introduce your host, your favorite, the man.
Welcome everybody. I'm great, man. I'm great.
Fantastic.
Welcome to another edition of In the Making. So today we have somebody special, somebody wonderful. You know him, you love him. I call him Mr. Mandy.
We're bringing him for the second time.
For the second time.
Yeah.
Means he's a favorite.
Yeah.
Mr. Mandy like a non-danger.
Yes, sir.
But before that, this guy always has something nice to say.
Guys, as you saw by the thumbnail, we are about to cook something, and Mr. Mandilake is going to let us in on what he's going to say. Mr. Mandilake, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Jens. Thanks for the second invite. Clearly, it was so good. We needed to come back.
Yeah, the people loved you, man. We had to bring you back. So today we're going to be discussing on life after university, as people saw on the thumbnail. And the first question is, why do you think so many young people leave university thinking they're prepared for life, only to realize they have no idea how to make money?
Sure. Interestingly enough, after university, the gauge for success is different from what the world out there, uses to measure success. I think I've quoted this before. The writer of The Richest Man in Babylon says, money is the medium through which success is measured in the world.
Okay.
All right? So us being university graduates does not guarantee that we are money savvy. It does not mean we are financially literate. It also, most of us might have been trained in something outside finance.
Okay.
So for us to think that we will get out there and be masters of managing finance, it's mostly, you look at personal finance, you look at corporate finance, all different types of finance, they need some level of expertise because of when you're dealing with money, you're not dealing with some pie in the sky. You're dealing with a system, as we've said before. You're dealing with a system that has pros and cons.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use it, your assumption that what you are doing is actually right does not entitle you to a positive outcome.
So what do you think are the financial mistakes people make in their 20s after they leave university?
It's thinking that their reckless decisions concerning money won't come back to bite them later on.
Okay.
That's the first thing, because everybody has this sense of entitlement that, I worked hard, so I must reward myself by living recklessly they have this idea that first few years I must, just eat my money and feel good about it. Trust me, if ever you start off on the wrong footing, you could actually be on that for the longest part of your career life. Okay. And by the time you're thinking, I should be responsible now, you might actually be still recovering from the bad decisions you've made when you started. So it's very key for you to understand that every moment, whether I'd say even whilst you're in varsity, because if you choose to be responsible, it does not start when you get into corporate.
Yeah.
You start before that, because that's a behavior.
Yeah.
Which leads me now to a lot of us are attracted to what we see as the results of discipline in certain people, right? For example, if we see someone who is toned, who has toned muscles, or someone who has money, to spend and all of those things, we are thinking it was a matter of them hoping or wishing or whatever, and we do not appreciate the fact that those people had to adopt a certain discipline
Okay.
or certain disciplined life
Yeah.
in order for them to obtain the results that they have.
Okay.
Going to the gym, for example, because everybody right now is getting a gym subscription. And the challenge is very few people actually have the desire to be people that are disciplined to go to the gym.
Okay.
Not people who have a desire to have toned muscles.
Yeah.
Because that thing, normally, it actually, it disappears the moment someone sees how much discipline one needs to apply in order for them to have a fraction of what a toned body looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's about, without me being too long on it, it's about being a person
Okay.
who's disciplined to go to gym. Do you get my point? It's about a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not about this thing of I want to show them that I've got a summer body now,
Yeah.
or I've got money. It's
Yeah.
about you being a person who possesses a personality or a discipline for you to actually be moneyed.
So it's more about the process and not the event.
Thank you.
Okay. So in that case, would you say the process of making money is difficult? Because if you look at it, if you compare it to working out is quite, you need to have discipline. You need to be consistent in the gym, making sure that day you're lifting as hard as you can. So would you say it's the same thing with money? Does it have that level of difficulty to it?
Yes. I would say it is difficult because if you don't take difficulty into account, you are always going to underestimate what it takes
Okay.
to get something, to achieve a certain objective.
Okay.
Just like you're saying. I mean, you go to the gym sometimes and you lift weights and you leave that thing that day feeling sore everywhere and you're like, I am not going back.
Yeah.
And someone says, no, when you feel the pain, that's when you actually need to go back. So it's the same thing with finances.
Okay.
Finances don't always look good. And it's not about the peak times, it's also about the down times. So in order for you to be able to actually enjoy the long term of financial breakthrough, it's actually you being able to stand the ups and downs of having money, not having money, failing and succeeding. You actually must be consistent because of a lot of people right now need a lot of motivation in order for them to do the right thing. Because of we thinking that's what it takes. Well, motivation is, as someone says, motivation is like taking a shower. You need it every day. So you need to motivate yourself every day.
Yeah.
But if ever you have again, we spoke the last time about a predetermined goal.
Okay.
You must be committed to a why that demands of you to actually overlook every obstacle
Okay.
in your pursuit of your goal. Otherwise, everything that actually comes around and tries to destabilize you, it takes you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how can I get off that NSFAS mindset? Because I know every month government is going to give me money, but after varsity,
Dololo.
door.
Sure. Firstly, you need to understand your life is not about is not about government grants, and it's also not about what do they call these things now? Handouts.
Okay.
It's not about handouts. Yes.
Yeah.
Have a life that is based on self-determination rather than always depending. Because when you're dependent, it takes that thing you're depending on to be shaken for your life to actually be out of shape and out of position.
Yeah.
So for you to understand, firstly, that setup of varsity was, it was a temporary setup. You can't build a life on that setup of, there's NSFAS. And by the way, NSFAS is a loan. So those who actually get it, it is a loan. So you actually get to pay it back if ever you actually didn't get it converted into a bursary by getting good results. So you have to work to actually get it converted. If not, you're going to have to pay after varsity. So that tells you that you are now, someone was talking about what credit is. credit the ability to enjoy something now that you're going to pay for later.
Yeah.
So you must know that there's a price tag to it. You can't live as if that's your parents actually putting money away. No, it's actually it's an institution that enables you to afford going to school and studying, because of you don't have the resources, but you fall within a certain bracket of people which actually affords to be financed by NSFAS. But at the end of it all, you are either going to pay for it later or you pay for it by working hard now.
Yeah.
So when you get out, then once you leave varsity, there's no more of that. I mean, the 350 rands right now that the government is giving is an unfortunate thing that's actually there, that I don't even think right now is actually changing anyone's life per se. That is just to kind of give someone, I don't know what the government really wants. Maybe it's to give someone a meal for a day or two.
Yeah.
Because for 350 rands, maybe you can buy loaves of bread for a number of days in a week.
Yeah.
I don't foresee anyone who's able to actually buy loaves of bread for a month from 350. But anyway, where I'm getting to is, once you get out of varsity, then you actually have to understand how things work.
Okay.
Because out there, then you start having to be responsible.
How did you navigate your life after university?
Oh, yeah, mine is a difficult one. No, so mine, firstly, I think my life was dictated to at first by the situation which I was born into. So I needed to grow very fast. My sister raised me from 3. My mom had to be in Joburg, whilst my sister was 14, had to raise me from 3 years until she was 15. Until I was 15, she was 26 when she passed on. So I already then had to mature at a young age. So from school already, I mean, before I even went to varsity, I needed to know the path I actually had to take. Because one of the things I knew is that I am not a criminal and I wouldn't actually take or adopt crime as a way of living. So I needed to work hard just for me to know that I can be independent. But I actually had to know that there are opportunities for me to seize. I just needed to know, how do I position myself right to be able to seize those opportunities in a manner that's beneficial.
Okay. Why is it important for the youth to start planning for how they want their financial life to look before they even start earning a salary?
It's important because it will inform the disposition they have to take the moment they actually step out of university.
Okay.
Into corporate, some into business, whatever they're going to go into. If you don't have the end goal in mind, your actions now will not be informed by something that guides your walk. So Stephen R. Covey writes a book called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
One of the principles he talks about there, starting with the end in mind.
Okay.
So in order for you to envision, or not even just envision, to take steps that are in line with your vision, you have to set that end goal in mind at the beginning.
Okay.
Then that will actually, the nice thing is, in the previous video, we spoke about me having bought cars and all of those things that I didn't recalculate. You get my point? It helps you prevent such things. Because when you know where you're going, it actually guides you so well. You lose less energy on things that don't matter. Because you get to focus your energies on the pursuit of something that you know at the end of the day, I'm gonna be proud that I actually took the steps I took.
Yeah.
It actually it helps you first seek proper financial guidance.
Okay.
You won't seek proper financial guidance if you do not think properly at the beginning, right? Because firstly, when you see, okay, I maybe want to, if for example you say I want to retire at 40, and you ask yourself, how much will I need for me to retire at 40?
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
You don't know that. Then you're going to need guidance for someone who's going to say, all right, I'm a financial advisor. I'm going to tell you this is what are you comfortable with? What kind of life do you want to live? Do you get my point? Now, that shapes your life. It helps you to craft your life in a manner that's going to be unique, yet at the same time fulfilling. And it actually does not speak to the same dream. We don't all have to have the same dream.
True.
I don't have to, I said the other time, I don't have to adopt your dream in order for me to feel successful. No, I have different desires, different goals, and different passions from you. And that's why then when I get proper guidance from the beginning, then I actually just get to avoid some of the mistakes that kept a lot of people too long in a certain space, to such an extent, by the time they get to retirement, to retirement age, they still need to work more.
Okay, so I want to ask, for someone who just finished high school, would you recommend that they go to tertiary?
Listen, I would, for a number of reasons. And one of the things that people need to understand, so education, which I distinguish from schooling, I'm not sure if I told you what the difference is.
Can you explain
Okay,
it to
yeah,
us?
I'll actually just explain. So, education is what gets left after schooling is done. It's what changes your life.
Okay.
Education is what takes you from being a person who thinks in a particular way, but you get enlightened, and then it actually makes you a different person. Mark Twain says, for example, I always make this quote. He says, "I never allowed my schooling to stand in the way of my education."
Okay.
So, distinction is this: you have a lot of people that have degrees, and I have no issues with degrees, as I'm going to substantiate now. You have a lot of people that have degrees from school,
Okay.
but their lives are not changed. Right?
Yeah.
Because firstly, the fact that you've been to school does not mean you are guaranteed success. Remember, I spoke about success or money being a measure of success in the world, in here. It does not mean, although I know before someone comes for me, money is not everything, but that must be in context. But money is necessary. I'm sure you see that every day. So money is a medium that's used to gauge success. So I'm trying to say the fact that someone has a lot of degrees from universities, different universities, doesn't mean they are financially successful, right? So when we then are going to talk about education and schooling, that's where I'm going to get to. So you can have people that are schooled that are less moneyed,
Yeah.
and you can have people that have taken unconventional education. Unconventional education means it's not traditional education of going to school. There are people who actually have learned in other ways. They've actually been, it's either their parents or their family, they grew up in a family business.
Okay.
They get exposed to business there. They understand taxes from there. They understand business from there. They understand profits. They understand sales. They will not show you paper in order for you to actually know that they know something. But they've actually taken another form of education. Personal development is another form. Getting to answering your point, yes, I would say someone who's leaving high school must go to university, because there's a level of exposure that some of us don't have, depending on where we come from. So being from high school, you might not have the skills or the skill set for you to be able to perfect the craft you want, even if you are gifted. Because if you're gifted, you need to have management skills. You need to have business acumen. You need to understand financials. So there are a number of things that university helps you with that you might not be exposed to in high school.
Okay.
And depending on which high school you went to, for sure.
I want to ask about, since we're on varsity, so how do I avoid sort of called useless degrees and pick the right one for me?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I was actually speaking someone that's saying career days must come back. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of them. Career days are about that. They are about people telling the upcoming generation what's relevant from what's not relevant. I know that there are firms that on an annual basis they would publish relevant skills that are needed now.
Okay.
Because Listen, we need teachers everywhere. Teaching is one of those careers I feel they are calling.
Yeah.
I feel like people who go into teaching should have a sense of calling for it
Yeah.
as well, because of it's in there. It's not just about the money that
Yeah.
you're making; it's about the impact that you're making.
Okay.
Jim Rohn has something that he says in his presentations. He says, in a job, you must not just ask how much are you making, but you must ask what are you becoming. That's So that's an imperative thing too.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say about teachers. But also, I think if ever you want money, teaching might not be the best place to go to now,
Yeah.
right? Because of it might not translate to what you want, and you might get exhausted.
Yeah.
You might be creative. I mean, Stephen R. Covey was actually a teacher, but he was an unconventional teacher because he became an international phenomenon. So you can. It's not everyone that can do that. But I'm just trying to say. I'm trying to now think of other kind of spaces without stepping on anyone's toes.
Yeah.
There are quite a number of degrees which were attractive back in the day, but they are no longer the same. I'd say people must just right now try to find out what is relevant now.
Okay.
Being a doctor used to be a great thing. It's no longer the same now. Being a lawyer, well, being an accountant, it's subjective.
Oh, yeah.
It's a number of these. So it's imperative then for you to go and research. So career days would help to say, listen, this is what's relevant now.
Yeah.
Work on these things. IT and information technology, cyber, cryptography. Those things now are the buzzwords of today, and because of the environment we are finding ourselves in.
Okay.
Would
Yeah.
you say people are more focused on making money than actually becoming people that create impact or have impact in a society?
You're right in that, and I just want to substantiate why my answer is going to go this way. You know, when your surrounding emphasizes or puts emphasis on a particular thing, everybody wants to do that
Go
thing.
after the thing,
Firstly, a lot of people have seen around them that the statement which I've made, that money is the medium that's used to gauge success.
Success, yeah.
That is actually informing now people's pursuit.
Okay.
Because people have come to realize that, well, it's not just about what I know now. It's about how much I have.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of things actually. And now that emphasis is causing people now to direct their focus.
Okay.
Because they want to firstly obtain some level of respect from society, because the reason why people pursue success is because of there's something that it does that other things don't. It's because of there's a level of respect that people are getting.
Status.
Exactly. Back in the day, if you were making an impact in people's lives, you could actually die a fulfilled kind of death because you could measure, and also people respected you because of the impact you made. And I'm not saying that has not gone away now, but it's not as the same as it used to be. That's why you actually have kids right now out of ignorance. And again, because they've had the privilege of being able to make money before they actually had to go to school to be grounded, because that's another thing. Information grounds you. This is what information does. Information makes you know that what you know is way little compared to what you don't know.
Okay.
If you don't have that true that test of your reality, then you grow this ego, and you're thinking that you are everything, that there is, the best thing after sliced bread, which is not true. So what information does is to actually ground you. And the more you see that you don't know much or enough as you don't know, then you actually get humbled.
Okay.
And you approach life from humility, right? So then let's go back to your question. Yes, people are chasing money now because people also, when they were making impact, they did not focus on making money at the same time, because these things don't have to be absolutely exclusive. They don't have to be to be separated from each other.
Separated, yeah.
So whilst you're making an impact, make money at the same time, because you can't buy food with impact.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way. That's why they talk about monetizing now.
Yeah.
That's why if ever you have YouTube and you're putting out valuable information, well, at some point you're going to get tired if there's nothing coming back. Likes and comments and all of that are not going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
It costs money to have these lights, to have these mics, to have all of these things. So it tells you at some point money has to come into play.
Yeah.
But it must be at the right measure. Because, money alone does not fulfill.
Okay.
Because, that's why you sing. I don't want to touch on people's lives, but
But you can. It's fine.
but you see there are a lot of people that are actually getting money in our generation, but because they didn't work for it,
Okay.
it doesn't give them a sense of fulfillment. For that matter, some are feeling cheaper by day because of the money that they're getting. It does not bring meaning. Money does not bring meaning. I'll tell you, I'll give you this example. Actually, I came across this at some point, I don't know when in my life, that the boys from the royal family, they are men now, from the royal family in UK, like they've got money for days there. They don't know what poverty is. There's a time where they are sent to Africa. It's bad, by the way, before I become political, it's bad that they have to be sent to Africa in order for them to get a sense of what it feels like to be poor. But anyway, to get a sense of poverty, and have to work to actually get means in order to sustain themselves. They have to be put in situations where they don't have that same privilege.
Okay.
Because that can be crippling to a child.
Yeah.
When you just have everything at your disposal without you having to lift a finger. It's actually crippling. God gave us hands, feet, mouth, and everything, and gave us skills so that we can actually work in order for us to eat. That process right there of converting something from raw material to something that's a finished product, right there gives you a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
So those things are the things then that informs that I'm not really just getting, I don't just want money without me having the process.
Okay.
I need the process. And this is the same thing that happens with kids who are growing up in families where there's a lot of money. And parents actually make up for their not having time for the children by giving them money.
Okay.
Those children get messed up most of the time. There's not money that they need. They need the time, they need communication, they need development, they need all of those things. And then money can be something that actually, at the end of the day, when you see, you can actually reward them with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people want to have a contribution to society in order for them to feel fulfilled.
Sure.
Basically.
In the whole world.
Yeah.
Do you know that only you can do what you can do in the world? What I'm trying to say is, when we were born, we were given a certain solution to bring to the world. Whatever it is, it could have been a doctor, it could have been but that endowment is on you only. If you live without having brought that solution in the world, you leave a vacuum. There's a certain space there's an emptiness the world feels. There's a certain void because you didn't live out what you were born with. Miles Monroe, again, is coming a lot in your podcast. He says the richest place in the world is not your minds, is not all these other places. He says it's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard there are people who died having not fulfilled their purpose. There are songs that were not written. There are books that were not written. So there's a whole lot. So that's why then it's imperative for us to understand. And this is what brings meaning to life, brings value to an individual. When people are thinking I'm worthless, and you actually come across the truth that I'm the only one that has my fingerprints. I'm the only one that has my retina in my eyes. I'm the only one that can do what I do. Then it makes you think of yourself differently. Now all of a sudden you approach life differently, and now you don't envy people, but you take motivation out of people's stories. You take guidelines as to how did that person navigate. I like the questions you're asking because of you want to find out how did you navigate. Because of we are all going to be faced with certain different challenges.
True.
But our worth comes from the fact that there's something in us that only us carry.
Yeah. So is that why like when you look at people who have impacted the world, most of them when they pass, something happens, like it rains heavily, or if it's sunny, it's too sunny because they've maybe the world now misses them because their mark is no longer there.
Well, possible. I don't have much philosophy on that, but it's possible. I mean, for example, Christ is one of the biggest figures the world has ever seen. When he died, I mean, there was an eclipse where the sun hid because it couldn't actually look at the raw pain that was actually upon him for having done nothing. Yet he was taking somebody else's place. I could preach on that for.
You can go, man. I'm getting excited.
So there is a bit of truth in it.
There is, because of the Bible speaks in Romans about all of creation groans in earnest expectation, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. What the world is experiencing, it actually is suffering because of all the things that are happening. So for sure, these happenings, as you're saying, there is a reaction and eruption. When man sinned, go back to Genesis, when Adam sinned, it was the sinning of the man that caused thorns to come up. Before, there were no thorns. So it tells you that our behavior as human beings does have an impact on the world in which we are living in. So we have a direct impact on the environment that we are living in.
Would you advise young people, to delay moving out of their parents' home after finishing school, and why?
No, for sure. That is my my advice, that if one can defer leaving home as much as possible, do that until it's necessary. One, I believe it's a money-saving tool. Leaving home as a hype to actually get independence it's an ignorant move. Firstly, if ever that's the only reason you just want to be independent, it's very ignorant. Why? One, moving out of home means you have expenses you were not going to incur that you're going to start incurring. So that has to be a necessary move. That I have no choice. I have to leave. For example, I have to go 100 kilometers from home because the job is there. And it does not make sense that I'm going to wake up every day and have to drive 100 kilometers and drive another 100 kilometers back, right? Then that demands that I must get a place there. And then because of also it's cost effective for me to be there rather than be. But if you are home, there's a race that I like in how they actually do things. The Indians, Indian families. Indian families have a way of, I might not know the nitty-gritties, but I do know this. They have a way of building their houses and their kids grow, and they actually are multi-generational in the same house. Every time that there's someone who gets married, they actually extend the house, they build another wing kind of, but they stay in the same property. Their costs are still less. We can't be people of vibe and think we're gonna make a big impact financially. Vibe people, sometimes they just think we just wanna vibe the whole time, or what do they say? We wanna whatever the terminology is. We have to understand, because if you move out, now you have to factor in rent, which is at market value. You have to factor in transportation, if you probably are not as approximate to work as you would, you have to take into account you're going to be buying your own food. Your own groceries are more costly than you actually, if you are staying at home, buying on a bulk kind of setup, because if you're not the only one buying food, you might just need to contribute on that. There are more savings there. And I think there's more quality of life there than you do have when you actually are just out there and thinking you look cool in some apartment in Senton.
Yeah, but I can afford. I have 50K now as salary, so meaning I can afford.
I like that, which is good, because still, again, that 50K, if it's purposely, if it does not have purpose, it actually does not mean anything. Because again, having money is not as important as knowing what to do with money.
True.
People that get to stumble on money,
Okay.
they have a tendency of losing it very quick.
Yeah.
You look at people who win lotto. That person did not, they played, but because there is no guarantee, that person did not anticipate 100 million. That's why I blew it now. Someone is making money out of the derivative of having had money. But what I'm getting to is, having money is not as important as knowing what to do with the money.
Okay.
So it's things like this. These things just they get me worked up a bit, because affordability, what does that mean? Because some of us have generational issues we have to address. We're coming from homes that are broken, and we are at the same time, and I mean, this is in no way taking a step on anyone whose situation maybe pushed them out of home. Sometimes you are actually just coming from a toxic background. You have to get out. It makes sense. But then, I mean, some of us, as I said, if it's for vibes, come on. I don't care if you're earning 50,000 or 100,000. If ever you don't have purpose for it, there's something else you could be doing that could actually make a more impact than you actually just rocking up there. Because one of the things that happens when you have too much money than you have plans is that you actually get to be indebted very quick, because you have this illusion that you have all the money in the world. Until you've actually committed yourself so much in debt, you see that your money actually, by the end of the month, it just goes into debt the moment it actually comes in. Because that's what actually too much money does. It makes you have this feeling of, this elusive feeling of, I'm invincible. Anything. And now you actually probably, and you start living this life of wanting to show the world. Again, value system is very key. What does money mean to you? It's a topic for another day.
I like that, because you remind me of a story my dad was telling me. No, well, it's not a story. It's about a guy. He owed people money. So he went to take a loan at the bank. And the bank gave him like 13,000 rands. And since he saw the 13,000 in his account, he withdrew the money. And then he went around slapping people and giving them $100. Because he thought it was a lot. And then within a day, it was done.
Yes. It's actually, the money has a tendency of showing you what's possible.
Yeah.
And I mean, as people, we have this progressive sense of things, growing. Our desires grow. Our vision grow by virtue of our. I think the creation of God, our mind, which is actually different from dogs and cats and all. Dogs and cats don't even notice the difference between now and Stone Age. We became progressive because we have as a part of the brain. I'm actually now forgetting the word that actually causes us to always push the envelope. We always want to change things. That's why how life is now is so different from what it was 100 years ago. Do you get my point? And 100 years from now, not even 100, 10 years from now, life will be totally different from what we are seeing right now. So it's that part, intuition. Intuition. I think is actually the part I want to refer to, is what actually triggers the sense of discomfort with living things the way they are,
Staying the same.
staying the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are forever changing.
So does that? I'm thinking, man, that relates to how doesn't that speak to who God is? Because He's a creative God. Therefore,
We are creative.
I mean, thinking about it, I normally ask myself this question: why did God create us? Because I don't think He needs us.
Going more into existential questions and
Yeah,
theological
so-
questions, but it's
and
yeah.
I was listening to Myron Gold, and he said he asked himself the same question, and he says that the only answer he came to is that God is a creative God.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, partly that, but also, I mean, because the Bible is quite clear on those. I mean, when you actually read Genesis 1, God says in verse 26, let us make man in our image and in our likeness, and let us give them dominion over, the birds of the air, the beasts of the field, and the fish of the sea. He created so that we can dominate,
Okay.
right? But a different sphere from the one he is in.
Okay.
He is in heaven, but then it's a deployment. Just like the ANC, partly the ANC is trying to, but something to that effect, when you then take that's what he actually did. So that's why then our being here, it has to attract meaning, because as I'm saying, you are deployed by someone who decided, I want you to actually have dominion in this space,
Yeah.
but find out what that looks like.
Okay.
So do you think without purpose, you can never have a vision, and without a vision, you can never plan, and without a plan, you do not know where you're going?
Yeah, vision, purpose, plan, all of that is interlinked. Because of vision is more like seeing Z, right, in an alphabetic table, and you're at A. Plan is how you're gonna get there.
Okay.
Because you can see wherever you want to go in your mind, but if you don't have a guide as to how am I going to move from here to there, then you could actually dream all you want. It's
Okay.
never it's going to be a dream, and you won't actually be able to fulfill it.
Yeah.
Because after dreaming, you need to get up and plan.
And plan,
Yeah.
take action.
So, what I was thinking now, there's this thing, since you're not maybe within your purpose, and you go to varsity and pick the wrong degree, and so you'll obviously fail because you're not in your space, in the right space.
Failure is not necessarily due to having chosen a wrong degree. It's due to not working. Because if you could be in a wrong degree, well, yeah, it's just that you guys are not married right now. It's just like someone saying, I'm married to the wrong person. There's no such. It actually becomes that because you didn't work. So it fails because you didn't work. Whenever you choose, because of the choosing, it being right or not being right is in terms of relevance right now. It becomes wrong because right now it's irrelevant. I know someone who, I don't want to mention now what their qualification is, but they said they actually chose that and then they figured out later it was irrelevant. Now, that's a wrong degree. Your success or lack thereof there is not determined by it being right or wrong. It's determined by, did you work? Did you study? Did you follow rules?
But I studied. I studied. I wrote the exams, and then it's like I didn't study when I look at the test.
No. Because remember, so again, if you're studying and you're still not doing well, there's something you're not doing right. Because there's no one who fails, because of otherwise that will actually put the outcome, the responsibility for the outcome on the outside than you. It's a matter of you now not taking responsibility. If I fail, I must recognize I've failed because of there's something I did wrong, or I didn't understand something. And if ever, this even is worse, if I didn't see that coming, that's even worse because failure is something you can almost predict
Okay.
Yeah.
because of your preparedness.
Okay.
So if you prepared well, you will know this is how I've done. If you didn't prepare well, you will also know that, okay. But if you don't know, something's wrong. So it's very key for you to actually understand that.
Wow. Great.
Mr. Mandilake,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Most welcome.
I don't know if my brother has a question.
No, I'm your brother today. No, no question. Everything.
Everything, man. So guys, thank you for watching this episode. As you have heard, hope you've most of the questions that you had have been answered in this episode. And yeah, thank you, Mr. Mandilake,
Most
for
welcome.
being a regular guest in our podcast.
Yeah.
and
He'll be back
sharing
again.
your wisdom. He's gonna be back again, and we're gonna be back again, definitely. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for us also. We in the making, so we gotta make it work. Cheers. Thank you.